Sameer, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. I can hear you, sir.
All right. You are in Bhopal now?
Yes, sir. I'm in Bhopal.
Okay. You passed out your engineering long time back, around 8 years back.
Yes, sir. I passed in 2015, sir. Yes.
So what have you been doing since?
So from 2016 to 17, I was working in ITBI as an assistant manager. And from 2017 onwards till now, I am working in RBI as a manager.
Are you through the RBI grade B job? Which
Yes,
job?
sir. Yes, sir.
And you're posted in Mumbai. Where are you posted?
So I am posted in Navi Mumbai, sir.
Tell me something about the features of RBI Act 1934.
So RBI Act 1934 relates to the establishment of the Reserve Bank of India. Some of the prominent features are the following. Firstly, the section 17 that talks about the RBI as a banker to the government. Section 17A talks about RBI being a banker to the state governments. Thirdly, there are sections pertaining to the RBI being the issuer of currency. Fourthly, RBI section 45 RBI is also regulating the NBFCs, and section 56 RBI is responsible for promoting financial inclusion and public interest.
Although RBI is dubbed as an autonomous institution, but central government reserves the right to change the structure and character of RBI. So you think that in that sense it is really autonomous if central government can and it does interfere?
So RBI is autonomous as per the given act. If the government wants to change something, it has to go to the route of parliament only, and ultimately the parliament, RBI is responsible to the parliament as it sends its reports to the parliament. But as far as the act is concerned, RBI is very much autonomous in its functioning.
What is the composition of Monetary Policy Committee of RBI? Who are there in that MPC?
So presently there are 6 members. It is headed by our Honorable Governor Shri Shaktikant Das sir. Then we have our Deputy Governor Patra sir, and 1 Executive Director sir is also there as RBI members. 3 RBI members, and 3 are external members on this committee. Ashima Goel madam is there. 3 members are there.
Why RBI chosen to continue 6.5% of the repo rate without changing it for a long time?
Sir, the main reason has been to bring the inflation in the 4 to 6% band only, to keep it stable that way. Secondly, also the evolving macroeconomic situation in the world economy, like the recent Russia-Ukraine war, and also the commodity prices and the FedEx policy. So keeping all these minds, RBI is want to stabilize the inflation to that bracket.
Why recently World IMF has changed the status of India from a floating regime to a stabilizing regime? You know about that? Which RBI itself has and finance minister opposed. What is the whole controversy regarding this?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to. I'm aware of the report, but I'm not able to recall the controversy and like what are the points, salient points that it has been opposed by RBI. So I will go through it, sir. I will go through it, sir.
It's regarding the foreign exchange. India for a long time was under floating regime. Now it has come under a stabilizing regime, but India itself has opposed that. Anyway, if you do not know, you can read about it. Safiq. You are silent, Safiq. You are muted.
You are, I mean, an aspirant for civil service, and hopefully will join civil service. Can you tell me, there is something called, you're familiar with the term ethical dilemma for civil servants?
Yes, sir, I'm aware of the term, sir.
So what is that?
Sir, it is the dilemma that it is the choice that a civil servant has to make between contrasting choices when his or her decision regarding one issue can have an impact on the other. Like it's a choice between the between different options.
You can say that's conflicting principles of equal values. when there is a conflict between two principles of equal values and decision making becomes difficult, then it's an ethical dilemma. Can you give us some example?
For example, sir, like if there a district collector and the district collector has to give benefits of some scheme, like the free ration scheme is there, and one beneficiary is there who does not have a ration card, but the person is very much eligible for that, and like some old lady who may have lost her ration card. So the civil servant, as per rules, should deny the ration, but as per the compassion and empathetic values, the civil servant can give the ration. So the dilemma is there for civil servant.
Okay. Sometimes there is a conflict between rule of law and larger public interest. So if you are faced with that kind of situation, what would you choose?
So firstly, I will try to get a holistic and comprehensive understanding of the issue at hand. Secondly, I will try to get thorough with the rules, that what exactly the rule of law says. Thirdly, I will discuss with my seniors, and finally, I will try to get an option that actually tries to balance both the aspects of it, because both are equally important. Rule of law and public interest both are important. So I will try to somehow balance the two issues.
You can say that it's always going to be contextual.
Yes, sir. Context is very important in this.
Context is very important. In the given context, sometimes you will prefer rule of law, sometimes you will prefer larger public interest. That's good. Now coming back to recently, I mean, you have must have read a lot of news about Maldives.
Yes, sir.
So what exactly is the problem with Maldives? We have very good relations with Maldives. What has gone wrong?
The recently Honorable Prime Minister went to Lakshadweep, and he requested the citizens to visit Lakshadweep. But then from Maldives, there are some ministers who did not like the comments, and they made some
Do you think
remarks.
This is the reason, or this is the symptom, or the rather manifestation of?
Yes, sir. I feel that it is something that ignited the whole controversy. The main reason has been going on from last 2-3 years, from the India Out campaign, when the Maldives people were not happy of Indian military forces being there in the Maldivian soil. So and the present president actually ran a campaign against India only, like when he was in the election. So he was always opposing those things. So I will say that it is the spark that actually led to the huge controversy. The seeds of it was already sown actually.
Can you say that we could have handled it differently?
So
suppose we are in a position to form a policy. So will you handle it differently?
Sir, in my opinion, we have handled it very responsibly. We have always supported Maldives in their tough times, and the military bases also be established so as to secure the sea lines of communication. And I am fully satisfied with the way it has been handled and the response of our External Affairs Ministry.
No, how it has been handled exactly?
Means that the India has shown its displeasure about the remarks being made against the Honorable Prime Minister.
That is a different thing. That was absolutely unacceptable. That's a different thing. But that is has erupted because Maldives has already drifted apart from us. Now this is basically we considered it in our sphere of influence. Strategically, it's very important to us.
Yes, sir.
And it has been, I mean, mostly the regime there has been mostly friendly to us. And it is always India first, their policy. So why this time they have drifted apart? Is there something, I mean, we could have done differently so that this situation shouldn't have reached this point?
Diplomatically, we may have had a high level of talks at diplomatic level. Maybe senior level officers could have visited Maldives and try to bridge out the differences. that can possibly be the option. That I don't know. I'm not very sure whether this has been done or not. But in my opinion, they should have a high-level diplomatic talks will have taken place.
Okay. Tiwari sir?
Sameer, you would have heard of this Bharat Nyaya Samhita.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So what was the need for it now?
Sir, it has the following needs. Firstly, sir, the old laws were colonial era laws. Secondly, the changing nature of crimes to accommodate those crimes. Thirdly, the huge tendency of cases that has been going in the courts.
So do you not feel that the RBI Act is also a colonial act? Is there justification to amend that also?
So RBI Act is amended as per the situation. Like the MPC was MPC amendment was there. Secondly, amendment to give RBI powers to direct banks to go after the defaulters. And thirdly, the digital currency, the amendment of the act to accommodate the digital e-rupee. So it has been also amended.
Okay. So do you see further scope for reforms in the RBI as well? Because there is talk of reforms everywhere, judicial reforms, bureaucratic reforms, political reforms. So central banking, does it also require further reforms?
Yes, sir. Changes as per the economy grows, the changes are required. Maybe it areas like debt management or maybe the payment systems, digital payment systems, and cyber security, and the state government debt management. So yes, reforms are always like a possibility.
And what about the scope for decentralizing the activities of the Reserve Bank?
Sir, it has been decentralized to a large extent actually. Like many of the functions that the central office was dealing with, this has been transferred to regional offices, and there is scope for more scope for that, and steps have been taken into this direction also.
Okay. So, like, can you give a thought to this? That like in the USA, they do not have just one single central bank. The banks are separately incorporated.
Yes, sir.
At the state level. So does it offer any other advantages to the economy if you have that level of decentralization for the monetary policy? So what are the additional advantages that would accrue? Can you just give a thought to it?
So firstly, like it's like depending on the state, like if the state has some it has high debt burden, so the borrowing limit for that state can be changed. Secondly, the rate of interest for that particular state can be different, and that happens also nowadays. That the borrowing limit of different states is different. The rate at which they are charged is also different. So this is happening.
And what is the evidence regarding the demonetization exercise? Do we have any concrete evidence, concrete data to support it, or to say that there was a few gaps in it?
So the activity has helped to promote the digital economy. Secondly, the tax limit has also been expanded. Thirdly, the terrorist activities and has also been declined. Sorry, I don't have the exact data for what are the figures, but yes, there are some gaps that could have been handled better in terms of cash management and the logistics. But yes, we have learned from that exercise, and it is a learning for us. Sorry, sir.
You are muted. And what are the assignments you handle presently in your present job?
Sir, I am posted in the data center in Harbor. I am handling the NEFT RTGS system.
NEFT and RTGS system.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let us take a different area. Like your father has worked in BHEL.
He's still working in BHEL, sir.
He's still working. Okay. So how would you view the performance of the PSUs of the nation?
So the PSUs are classified into different categories. Like some PSUs are performing very well, like ONGC, IOCL, they have given good profits. Some are recovering, like BHL and GAIL and SAIL, they are recovering. And there are some sick PSUs which are not performing very well. So the government is trying to liquidate them or maybe merge them with some other entities. So it is different for different PSUs. So sorry, you are on mute, sir.
But in spite of such a significant presence of PSUs, how do you view this predicament that our manufacturing sector is still struggling? It has not come up to the expectations.
So manufacturing sector requires a lot of expertise and a lot of skill development. So the PSUs have a large workforce that is working towards it. But it's a very welcome move that private sector is also coming up in a big way, supported by government, Startup India, PLI schemes, Make in India schemes. So I see that this is a positive effect that we have seen more players, more competition.
And PSUs also, they have a large inventory, surplus, like whether you say surplus land or surplus assets.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what would be your response to monetizing those type of assets and using them productively?
So I'm very optimistic about that. I believe that government should look forward to it. Although they have made this National Land Monetization Corporation, but they should it should be expedited because they have a lot of land available that can be productively used for the new infrastructure.
Okay. And can you tell us, like, we have this FRBM, there is a limit on FRBM on the fiscal deficit. You have the monetary policy committee which sets a inflation target. But in case of a violation, if these limits are breached, what are the consequences? Does the government face any penalty for that?
So the government does not face any penalty, but it has to give a report to the parliament. There is no penalty as such. There's a escape clause also in some cases.
So how is it justified? What does the escape clause provide?
Sir, as per the escape clause, if there are some exigency like the COVID pandemic, so 0.5% can be expanded fiscal deficit, and if the economy is doing well, it can be reduced also by 0.5%. So,
and are you aware that this target of $5 trillion economy that we talk of,
yes, sir.
Is there a substantive basis to it? Are there firm projections or firm calculations which justify this projection?
So we are currently a $3.25 trillion economy, and if you see the growth rate of 12%, so as per that growth percent, we have a chance of reaching that figure.
Yeah, but that is an arithmetical exercise. If we grow at 12% or 14%, but the underlying sectoral balances and this type of exercise, are you aware that there is something to that effect?
Sorry, sir, I've not exactly gone through the different sector-wise economy. There are discussions on that. I will follow those discussions now, sir.
No. Thank you. Thank you.
What are your hobbies?
Sir, my hobbies are playing badminton, sir. And I have also been a part of a child shelter home in Bhopal.
Child shelter home?
Yes, sir.
Who is running this child shelter home?
Sir, this has been run by SOS. SOS is a Sons of Soil. It is a Austria-based organization that was formed in 1943 to deal with people who have lost the children who have lost their parents in the World War. Mm-hmm. And in Bhopal, it was established in 1987 to deal with the Bhopal gas tragedy victims. Mm-hmm. Because there were a lot of orphan children after the gas tragedy, so that is why they started this.
What kind of work you have done with that child shelter home at Bhopal?
Sir, I was taking classes at the weekends, and I was also the center head for that SOS planning.
So what kind of children are put there? Orphans only or some poor children also? Who are the inmates?
Sir, they are firstly the orphans. Secondly, the children whose parents cannot take care of them. They are the and third children, two types of children basically. And thirdly, street children. Street children are there.
So how you're trying to mainstream them?
Yes, sir, to bridge the gap, sir, with the mainstream society. To give them a reasonable, long-term aim is to give them a reasonable quality of life.
That's a huge task. How do you perform that?
So it's a step-by-step process that is there for every child. A child may enter the shelter home at the age of 6 years. A child may enter the shelter home at the age of 14 years. So there's a child-wise plan that they make, and they follow that plan for the child, and regular intervals. The monitoring is there, and aim is to get the decent quality of life by the age of 21 or 22, so that the person is at least educated and able to get a job by 24.
Since you are residing in Bhopal,
Yes, sir.
have you got the opportunity to visit Sanchi Stupa or Bhimbetka cave paintings?
Yes, sir. I visited them, but long back. So they are very prominent places, so I visited them, but long back.
You can't take questions on that, right?
Sir, I can take questions, sir. It's not, but yes, I can because I've read this about in the exams also. No? So it's like yes, I can try to at least answer those questions if at all.
Forget about that. So now see, you are already in a very cushy job. In RBI Grade B itself is a very prestigious, secure job.
Yes.
Why should you think of changing over to civil services?
So firstly, the public dealing. I want to be involved in a job that directly deals with the public. Secondly, sir, job diversity. And thirdly, I see the civil services as a career progression for me. That I work in RBI, so I get experience here, and I can then switch to civil services as a career progression.
I don't understand this logic. See, if I counter you by telling that, see, RBI does not have a public interface. So is ISRO. So is Atomic Energy. They don't deal with the public.
Yes, sir.
Yet they are doing outstanding job. Look at the progress of ISRO. ISRO scientists are not dealing with the public. Why you people always want to deal with the public and only then shine in life?
Sir, RBI also doing a wonderful job, but it's like it's my personal ambition to be directly involved with the public and to deal with policy implementation also and policy making also. In RBI, we are making policies, but the implementation is by the banks. So it's like for me to understand how the policy works at a grassroots level and then get a chance to make them policies at a higher level.
I can understand your commitment. You want to do something in policy making. But suppose you are given the job of an IAS officer, then what if you have in mind? Which area you would love to work on a priority basis?
Sir, I would like to work in the field of education, health, and financial inclusion.
Education, health, and financial inclusion.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if we talk about financial inclusion, what are the measures the government has taken towards this end?
So firstly, the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana to open a zero frills account. This is for this bank accounts. Secondly, for credit, we have this Mudra scheme. Thirdly, we have this priority sector lending scheme is there. Fourthly, for insurance, we have Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Bima Yojana and Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana. For pension, we have Atal Pension Yojana. So like these, the government has taken.
Recently, a new scheme has been floated by the PM in the name of the PM. And that is to include the primitive tribals, PVTGs.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Sir, it is to provide education, health, and infrastructure to the PVTGs, Pradhan Mantri.
Janman Yojana.
Janman Yojana, yes, sir. So it is for basically social infrastructure for them to create enabling infrastructure for them.
What do you think are the essential qualities that will drive the passion of a civil servant, and those qualities you find in you or not?
Firstly, sir, perseverance. Secondly, sir, that I think that I have this perseverance. Secondly, the empathy to understand the problem of others and try to solve them. That I believe I have. And thirdly, the emotional intelligence, which I believe that I am still developing. So these are three qualities.
Three things you think you have. Okay, thank you, Mr. Goel. We'll call you back for the feedback in just a minute.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You will go off now and come back in a minute. Okay. You are a good candidate and
sorry, sir. I joined now only, sir. I was not able to listen. Sorry.
No, I have just started.
Okay.
You seem to be a good candidate. This is your first interview with UPSC board?
Second interview, sir.
What was your marks in last interview?
168.
That will be called an average marking. 168 is average. Below 168 will be below average. Above it will be good marks and all that. So, but then again, it depends on the day and your luck on that day when you are being interviewed, all said and done. So that's not within your control. What I can tell you from this projection of your half an hour is that you are in a safe zone and you will score 170 above and under any condition. We cannot predict about the marks at all, what you will get. But what I can tell you is that RBI will attract a lot of questions, and definitely you should be A to Z thorough with that. Starting with RBI Act, its autonomy questions, central government interventions. I was not too happy when you did not know about the IMF ruling that affects IFA, this foreign exchange. You should be updated with all these things. Many things RBI is doing nowadays. So it's not that you are looking after all those aspects in RBI. It's not your job profile. Since you are associated with RBI, you should know every nut and bolt. So that will be your strong point to talk about RBI and all that. Other areas obviously is current affair where they can ask you any question which is Hamas or Pakistan, Iran or Red Sea or whatever. So I need not tell you that you have to prepare on that. There is no need. Other members can give you some tips. Shafiq, आप बताइए.
I'm happy. I think he's prepared well and he can express himself. So that should, sail him through interview. And rest is luck. Interview is always part luck. What kind of questions they ask at that point of time. So that also. But otherwise, I was satisfied.
तिवारी जी.
हाँ नहीं अच्छा है उसमें best strategy would be to focus, come down to your actual job that you are performing, the division in which you are posted. So if you could highlight that in the beginning itself, so the interview would narrow down to that part, and then it will go to the larger questions regarding RBI. So you satisfy your present job profile, whatever assignment you have been handling. So that could be a good way to begin. And then there's nothing to say about your knowledge base and all that. That is, you are fairly well up on that. But when he asked about the composition of the MPC, there is no need to give the names.
Okay.
So just give the designation that the governor is this and deputy governor is, there are deputy governors and there are this, unless there is a person who has been put there by name.
Okay.
And lastly, this when he asked you about the qualities for being a civil servant, integrity and honesty should be at the top.
Okay.
Perseverance and all that is fine, but integrity, honesty, don't miss that part.
Okay.
No?
Sir, I have a question. Can I answer?
Yes.
So in the question you asked about why leave RBI and join civil services, what else I can add?
See, you have to be very realistic and very simple in answering that. All the world knows that in India, civil services offer the best jobs and all that. So obviously, you can say that I consider it a better career growth for myself. And definitely, civil services offers lots of opportunities to work in various domains and all that. So definitely for that, I would like to choose that. This is the reality. Actually, this is why you are joining civil services, right? There's no other reason. So you just give that, and if they grill on you that, you can say that this is my region. I can stick to that. That's all. Always stick to that. They might try to grill you.
Sir, I'm targeting till IRS only. I'm not very optimistic about other services. Like I don't want to join this postal and defense and all.
Yes. You are already in a very good job. So why will you go for all the allied jobs? So you must be targeting IAS, IPS, IFS, and IRS, right?
Yes, sir.
That's okay. So you can say that on a comparative scale, I find that I'm very well placed now in RBI grade B, and I'll only be attracted in the civil services if I'm offered these 4 jobs. So you are clear about it, why you want to do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
नहीं उसमें ये भी है कि भाई आरबीआई के गवर्नर्स याद कर लो सिविल सर्विस से कौन कौन आए हुए हैं तो सो देयर इज नो उसमें कोई रिवर्सिबिलिटी नहीं है ना बाय बीइंग इन द सिविल सर्विस यू कैन स्टिल
Go to
RBI banking, you can be the governor RBI itself. So that is a social reality. So why shy away from it?
Yes, sir.
Say it in a polite way, but that is a valid argument that it offers a unparalleled prestige. That is the social reality of the nation.
Yes.
तो उसमें जबरदस्ती क्यों ये करना है कि देश सेवा करनी, ये करना है, जो जस्ट हैव अ बैलेंस बिटवीन द टू, कि ये भी करना है वो भी करना है, जस्ट ओके।
Thank you.
Okay.
All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good day.